$5,000 for this woman to say she was molested by Fauci. Okay? I believe that's true. I believe that story was paid for. That Hope Hicks delivered $75,000 or $70,000 from the White House to these guys for that story. I'm starting to believe that. Okay? From my conversations with this woman, from my experience with these people. All right? Now, I say that especially, too, because everything these guys do is to protect and help Trump, not to make him look bad. And it would make him look bad if they were saying that Hope Hicks was doing this. So they wouldn't lie about Hope Hicks. That's something that slipped out. Okay? So I'm pretty sure, man, that Hope Hicks was involved in that deal with $75,000 payoff on the Fauci scam over. That reminds me, has anybody seen the Vatican nativity scene? If you Google, just put in VAT, okay, it comes right up. Vatican nativity scene, because it's so freaking bizarre. They actually have one of the people attending, the nativity scene, is the birth of Jesus in the manger, and the wise men are there, and Mary's there, and Joseph's there, and the little baby Jesus is there. This one has the baby Jesus in a red light, as a red light. And there's an astronaut there with an astronaut helmet on. And there's also a guy next to the astronaut that has a skull on his head. And it's kind of like these modernistic statue type things. But whatever it is, it's really creepy and really weird. And the last thing we need in 2020 to end off 2020 with astronauts visiting the birth of Jesus. It's sort of something you'd see like in a Planet of the Apes. Okay. So, I went back this week and I was invited to go back on the True Anon podcast. Okay. Which, by the way, did you know that it's the fourth largest podcast on Patreon? The fourth biggest. These guys are making like $65,000 a month. All right? So, I'll tell you the truth, the God's honest truth what happened. I'm in financial straits here. Got to move, being evicted. Vic has to move back up to D.C. To emergency housing the school's providing. I got to drive her up there. We got to pay for car repairs before I drive her up there. So we got a lot of struggles here. Thank God for Donnie Mays getting me out of this 213-618-6424. But serious financial trouble. So I contacted Brace Belden over there at TrueAnon, and I says, hey man, because he helped me build the Patreon, and he put together a team for me to help me develop the Patreon and put it together. And he said, listen, as soon as you have it up, we'll have you come back on the show, and we'll help build up your Patreon. Well, it's worked, man. We've really built up the Patreon since we've been on his show. And I went on his show to talk about the Hunter Biden laptop story. Okay, and I've told the story here in limited doses. I'm going to try and tell it to you tonight too as well, the abbreviated version. Or maybe I could just save a whole, because it's such a long story. And it involves John Mark Carr from the John Benet Ramsey story. It involves, and the woman who he was stalking and threatening and a danger to, who became a guest on my show, then became a client, where I helped her put together a lawsuit against Dr. Keith Abloh, a Fox News presenter, who was also abusing her. Keith Abloh loses his license, and then, lo and behold, for some crazy reason, Hunter Biden winds up living at Keith Abloh's house for 3 months. When Hunter Biden leaves the house, he leaves behind his laptop. Dr. Keith Abloh has his brother contact Bradley Birkenfeld, who's the author of the book Lucifer's Banker, because what he did was he used to work for Swiss banking accounts, and he ratted out the Swiss banking industry to the Department of Justice, who prosecuted him anyway, but then he wound up getting a reward of $100 million. So then I said to him, so what do you do now? I contact him, right? All right, I bring him on the show as a guest. As a matter of fact, there's an interview with him. And where he talks about all this, by the way. Okay? All right? Exclusive to the Opperman Report. And he tells me how Hunter Biden's brother contacts him and wants $2 million for the laptop. Now, why would... no, not Hunter Biden. Keith Ablow's brother contacts him in possession of Hunter Biden's laptop and says he wants $2 million for the laptop. Now, Keith Ablow would not put a price tag on a guy's laptop unless he knows that there's something really valuable on there. So there's a story out in the press about how Birkenfeld and Bo Dietl, private investigator from New York, go to Keith Ablow's house in Massachusetts. They meet there, and they say, hey, please give us the laptop, you know. And he says, well, I want $2 million. And they go back and forth. Hey, you know, $1 million? You know, who knows what they're saying, right? But, you know, he wants $2 million. And they leave, and the next day, somehow a judge signs a warrant, and the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, go in there and raid Keith Ablow's joint and take the laptop. Okay? And then Birkenfeld says, and I think that that's the laptop that made it to the repair place over there in Delaware. Okay? So you can listen to the entire interview with Birkenfeld where he's not talking about how the judge signed a warrant. I'm saying that's my theory. Okay? But this is a guy who was in on the negotiations. He's telling us exclusively here that Ablow wanted $2 million. I asked, well, how did the FBI go to? I don't know. I said, well, wouldn't it be more likely that Rudy Giuliani can get to the DA to do the raid? I don't know. You know, so it's a good interview. It's a good interview, and it's worth it. And I put in there also too my original interview with the young girl who was stalked and harassed by John Marcar. I got to find two of the ones where I talk about Ablow and the case against Ablow too. Oh, I think I did put one in there. I think I put one in there with Dan O'Hanks, and it fleshes out all the story about what's going on here with all the characters. And it makes all come to make a lot of sense. Whoosh, man, I'm pooped, man. I am freaking pooped. So anyway, I told the story on TrueAnon, and my Twitter blows up. You know, they got like all these followers and stuff like that on Twitter. It's a big show. And my Patreon more than doubled, you know, and which is a big, big help. And I also have a feature now on Patreon where you can sign up for a year and get a discount. So all that there, pretty much that's the Hunter Biden laptop story, which is the most logical explanation of how that computer repair guy got a hold of Hunter Biden's laptop and all this information, you know, and how it all happened. Oof, you know what, man? I'm having like a little exhaustion thing here going on. Let me play a commercial break, and then we'll come back. We'll be right back after these messages with more of the Opperman Report. And now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. They're going to send a little extra soap, travel size, soap bars and laundry soap, cleaning soap flakes. I've been using that stuff all day long today. Great stuff. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Tina Helmuth is writing an ongoing series of fact-fiction books that boldly takes on today's most heinous crimes. Suffer the Little Children, The Wrath of the Father, and Unbreakable. Deeply researched and mixed with the supernatural, good versus evil makes these thrillers hard to put down. Available at lulu.com in paperback or ebook.
If you find yourself in need of legal representation, it can be a very stressful time in your life. In my career, I have dealt with thousands of lawyers, I've dealt with thousands of law firms, and I can confidently recommend to you Keith M. Davidson at kmdlaw.com. Available 24 hours, 7 days a week. Just log into kmdlaw.com. That's kmdlaw.com. Or you can call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. That's 833-4KMD-LAW. Personal injury, wrongful death, STDs, sexual assault, car accidents. They handle it all efficiently and professionally. It doesn't matter how imposing the opposition may be, because the team at kmdlaw.com are battle-tested and fierce. They will not stop until justice prevails. Go to kmdlaw.com or call toll-free 833-4KMD-LAW. If you're in for the fight of your life, stop screwing around and contact KMD Law.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. Oh, boy. Yeah, just had a long day, man. Anyway, so I was telling you, one of the shows we're going to have on, interview I just did is Monique from Radio Gunk, who has all the Howard Stern gossip and insider information. We even talk about how Robin was involved in a witches cult, you know, on Staten Island, doing rituals and ceremonies out in the woods. So we get into that a bit, you know. And she was very forthcoming with all the information she had. A lot of weird stuff. You know, a lot of people don't know, too, this thing about Howard is that I was a huge Howard Stern fan way back from WNBC. And then K-Rock, you know, I listened to it every single day. I would even have dreams at night, dreaming that I was part of the show, you know, that was there in the studio, you know, I was part of the team, you know. And I was kind of involved in a couple of shows. The first time I got involved with the Howard Stern show, there was a guy there. What was his name? Real handsome guy who worked on the show, one of the guys. And someone had made a fake Plenty of Fish page about him, dating site page. So I contacted Steve Langford, and I says, well, you know, this is the kind of investigation I do. I'm a digital forensic investigator. I do, you know, internet investigations. And I do a lot of investigations with dating sites. I invented this search where you can trace an email address back to an online dating website, catch people cheating online. And he goes, oh, it's fascinating. You know? He calls me up. He wants to interview me. And I said, well, because I volunteered to help. And I said, just get on it. Get right on it. And then Howard's asking him, what's going on with this dating site thing going on? And he said, we have a PI working on it. And I said, oh, jeez, you know, I haven't started anything yet, you know. And he calls me up to interview me. And anything I say is fascinating. It's the most amazing thing. So anyways, they played that. And then the second time, well, yeah, I was also involved in the Tiger Woods beauty pageant, you know, helping in behind the scenes, working on that. Then another one was interesting enough, was when I went to help out. Oh no, with the thing with the Plenty of Fish thing, they actually talked about that during the interview with Charlie Sheen, and they had me on that little wrap-up page, you know. I took a screenshot of it, as you can find it on my Facebook and stuff. But when Charlie Sheen had gone crazy, and I was involved in all that too, what do you call it? So they're interviewing Charlie Sheen, it's an exclusive interview, and they're talking about me on Howard 101, the news show. And also, too, when the Tiger Woods beauty pageant was going on, I was helping Gary Delabate Baba Booey. And I was,